All right, class, here it is, your first speech of the semester, the introduction speech. So I'm going to go into a screencast going through all the instructions and everything that you need to know how to do. I would advise you to get into this early and start planning and practicing so you can upload your best work for this first speech. If you have any questions, make sure to email me and let's get started. Okay, everyone, so we're going to go through the instructions for the introduction video. So started activities, and then in week 3 you need to go to the introduction speech assignment, and then once you get on that page, go ahead and scroll down to resources, and you click on the arrow, and you can either download it or you can open it in Google Viewer. Let's just look at it in Google Viewer because that'll be easier. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. Alright, that's a little bit easier. So for this assignment, 2 to 3 minute presentation to your classmates in which you'll introduce yourself. Now, you can use one of 3 methods to do this. Now, first of all, 2 to 3 minutes, you need to fall in that area. If you're under 2, you'll lose points. If you're over 3, you'll lose points. There is no extra credit for having a longer presentation. I have to grade 30 something of these speeches, so you're just making me work longer if you make it longer than that. So you can show us an object and describe it to us and tell us what it is, tell us where you got it and why it's important, what does it mean to you. You can use an analogy on the object, or you can recall to us a significant or memorable event and why that relates to you. Now, in the instructions, it tells you can only use one method. You could only tell one story, not your whole life story. It says, do not tell us things such as, I was born in 1984, I graduated from high school in 2002, my mom's name is Becky Gray. Tell us stories so we can see it. Okay. Now, it gives you the presentational guidelines. You should have a clear introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Okay? Now, make sure you read this really closely. I don't want you to start with, hi, my name is, and I'm going to tell you about, it needs to be something a little bit more interesting in that. Don't finish your presentation by saying things such as, that's it, I'm finished, I guess I'm through. Have a clear conclusion. Alright? Now, you don't have to turn in an outline or anything. This is just a speech. You're getting graded on the speech. Now, let's look at the rubric because this is pretty important. This is what I'm going to grade you on. So, you have your introduction and conclusion, 5 points each, and it breaks down what I'm looking for each one of those. I'm not going to read this to you because you need to read this yourself. What I'm looking for in the body of your speech, points for a time limit, then eye contact, natural body movement, enthusiasm, and physical appearance. Make sure you read this very closely as well. Now, I will tell you all, in the past, I've had students really mess this speech up because they'll tell an awesome story, but they'll have no enthusiasm whatsoever. I know from watching the introduction discussion board, some of you have told me that you're in sports, and some of you have told me that your teams have been to the finals or won a championship before. I've had students in the past tell me stories or tell the audience stories in this speech about winning a game, and they had so much, or so little rather, enthusiasm that it was really one of the most boring stories I ever had to sit through, which is very ironic because this should have been a very exciting story. So you need to really work on your eye contact, your vocal delivery, your enthusiasm, and your physical appearance. Now, if we go back here, I have included links to some other videos. Now, I actually have my own YouTube channel that I set up to give videos for college faculty and give them tips on how to run their online class. To you all, for the most part, that channel will be a very boring channel. However, I do have some videos from my channel that talks about how to set up recording, how to have good lighting, how to have good appearance, and then also how to deliver a speech, you need to watch all of those videos, because the things that I'm talking about in those videos is what I'm going to expect from you. I did see in that introduction discussion board some mistakes as far as background and lighting that you all need to avoid when you start doing your actual speeches. These videos that I've included under the instructions, if you watch those, that's going to lay out exactly what you need to do and also what you don't need to do as you're setting up your speech and actually delivering your speech. So make sure that you use all of those resources that I've given you. If you have any questions, make sure you're starting on this early so you can kind of plan this out and also ask me some questions ahead of time. And I'm really looking forward to these speeches because I know that you all can do a great job on those.